The life of Bayazid Bastami. Bayazid Bastami, whose grandfather was a Zoroastrian, converted to Islam. He was distinguished for his piety while still a child. His mother used to send him regularly to the mosque to read the Quran with the mullah. One day when he read the chapter Luqman, he read the verse, "Show your gratitude in serving me and show your gratitude to your parents in serving them." So he asked the teacher the meaning of the verse, and had no sooner heard it explained that he immediately ran home. When she saw him, his mother said, "Why have you come home so early, my child? Have they sent you for the feast?" "No, mother. I have just read the verse in which the Lord commands me to serve him and to serve you. But as I cannot serve in two places at once, I have come to propose to you that you should ask the Lord to give me to you in order that I may serve you, or that you should yourself give me to the Lord that I may serve him." "Okay, since that is the case," said the mother, "I give you up to the Lord and renounce all my rights over you." So, a few years afterwards, Bayazid left the village of Bastam, and for 30 years he lived as a barefooted ascetic in the desert of Syria. Once during this time, Bayazid came home and listened at the door of his mother's house before going in. He heard her saying in prayer, "May God bless my poor exile. May the hearts of the pious be rejoiced by him and accord him grace." Bayazid, hearing these words, wept and knocked at the door. "Who is there?" she asked. "Your exile," he answered. No sooner had she opened the door than, embracing Bayazid, she said to him, "O my son, separated from you as I have been, my eyes have lost the power to see and my back is bent." Some time after, Bayazid said to a friend, "What I ought to have known most clearly is just what I have only learned when too late, to serve my mother. That which I sought in devoting myself to so many religious exercises, in putting myself at the service of others, and in exiling myself far from my kindred and my country, see how I have discovered it. One night, when my mother asked for water, as there was none in the pitcher, I went to the canal to draw some. But it was a winter night, and the frost was very sharp. While I had gone for the water, my mother had fallen asleep again. I stood waiting with the full pitcher in my hand till she should awake. When she did so, she asked for water, but when I wished to give it to her, I found that the water was frozen, and the handle of the jug stuck fast to my hand. "Why," said my mother, "why did you not put it down?" "Because I feared not to be ready when you asked for it." That same night, the Lord revealed to me all I wanted to know. One night, Bayazid, having gone out of his house, went to the burial ground to perform his devotions. There he found a young man playing a guitar, who came towards him. Bayazid, considering music unlawful, exclaimed, "There is no might or power except in God." The young man, irritated, struck the head of Bayazid with his guitar, breaking it and wounding him. Bayazid returned home. The next morning, very early, he placed some sweetmeats and some pieces of gold in a dish and sent it to the young man, charging the messenger to say, "Last night you broke your guitar by striking my head with it. Take therefore this money, buy another guitar, and eat the sweetmeats, so that there may remain no rancor in your heart." When he had received the message, the young man came in tears to Bayazid and asked his pardon and repented. On another occasion, Bayazid was saying his prayers in company with a friend. When they had finished their devotions, his friend said, "Tell me, Bayazid, you do not ask anything of anyone, you do not engage in any industry. Where do you get your provision?" "Wait a little," said Bayazid. "I am going to say my prayers again." "Why?" "Because it is unlawful to pray with a man who does not know who is the bestower of daily bread." Hatim as-Sam used to say to his disciples, "If, on the day of judgment, you do not intercede for those who will be conducted to hell, you are not my disciples." Bayazid, having heard this, said in his turn, Those only are my disciples who, on the day of judgment, will stand on the brink of hell in order to seize and save the wretches cast down thither, even were it necessary to enter hell themselves for the salvation of others. Bayazid related as follows: One day I heard a voice which said, "O Bayazid, our treasure house is brimmed full with acts of adoration and devotion offered by men. Bring us something which is not in our treasury." "But God," I cried, "what then shall I bring?" And the voice answered, "Bring me sorrow of heart, humility, and contrition." Another time he said, "After having endured the rigors of asceticism for 40 years, one night I found myself before the doors and curtains which hide the throne of God. For pity's sake, let me pass." "Oh, Bayazid," cried a voice, "you still possess a pitcher and an old cloak. You cannot pass." Then I cast away the pitcher and the cloak, and I heard the voice again address me. "Oh, Bayazid, go and say to those who do not know, behold, for 40 years I have practiced rigorous asceticism. Well, till I cast away my broken pitcher and torn cloak, I could not find access to God. And you, who are entangled in the ties of worldly interests, how shall you discover the way to Him?" One night, after having said his evening prayer, Bayazid remained standing till the morning and shedding tears. When morning came, his servant asked him, "What has happened to you tonight?" "I thought I had arrived at the throne of God. And I said to it, 'O throne, we are taught that the Lord rests on thee.' 'O Bayazid,' replied the throne, 'it is said here that the Lord dwells in a humble heart. But where is the intelligence capable of penetrating this mystery? Heavenly beings question earthly ones concerning it, and they only cast the question back.